And good afternoon, and welcome to this week's version, or second version, I should say, of Wolverine Chat. This week we're covering the Michigan-Purdue game in the Big Ten Championship this Saturday in Indiana. It's going to be a big game, and welcome. I'm Tim. This guy over here is Nate.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Nate?
Hello. Yeah, I'm extremely pumped for this week, man. I can't wait. 2 more days.
I don't know why. Well, I think they're a better team than last year, but last year I was just relieved. I wanted to win the Big Ten. Don't get me wrong. If we had lost to Iowa, but after that, it was all gravy. So I was disappointed the way they lost to Georgia, but I really wasn't that disappointed.
Well, I saw an interview with JJ a couple days ago stating that last year one of their main goals was to win the Big Ten championship, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
So after that, I'm sure they wanted to do more in the conference play or the college football playoff semifinal, but obviously that did not happen. Just one game at a time from here on out. You can't overlook Iowa. They are a very good team, believe
Purdue.
it or not. Yeah, Purdue. Sorry.
That's okay. It's usually Iowa.
Yeah. That was last year. But yeah, we can't overlook Purdue. They have Charlie Jones, Aiden O'Connell. He's going through some stuff, but I think he is going to be playing, if I read it correctly. The only thing that we have going for us is our defense against a semi-good offense, and that's the only thing Purdue honestly has going for them. Yeah, their offense is a little overrated. Granted, Aiden O'Connell is the leader in passing yards in the Big Ten.
Nope, he's a decent quarterback.
But, he has half as many interceptions as he does touchdowns. He has 22 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, a little over 3,100 passing yards on the season.
3,124.
So he's not bad, but inconsistency is there. And I think that's going to be because we're not going up against a quarterback like C.J. Stroud. So this is definitely going to be a different game.
He can't run.
Exactly.
He's negative 46 rushing yards.
Like I said in last week's episode, after watching Purdue play Indiana on Saturday night, as we were awaiting who was going to face Michigan in the Big Ten Championship, watching Aiden O'Connell, he struggles in the pocket. He does. And
he does.
He gets happy feet when he gets pressure in the face. And, they didn't get to him. They didn't get to Stroud at first in the first half, but the second half they started putting the pressure on him and started forcing mistakes. And if Michigan can do that to Purdue and Aiden O'Connell, I'm predicting a very, very lopsided win.
So will I. Let's touch on this before we get any further. Mazi Smith. It just out there. I don't know if people know this or not, but he is facing he's got a problem to deal with.
Yeah, he is he's facing felony gun charges. And reports that we read said that this incident happened in October. I think it was the second week of October. And for some unknown reason, we're now just hearing about it. So Mazi Smith has played 7 games since the incident. So if you want to do the math, you can. But reports are saying that he had a concealed weapons permit that was expired. Thus the reason that he is facing the felony gun charges. But hopefully in the state of Michigan, it's just a civil lawsuit that would be a $350 fine if he's found guilty. So hopefully it doesn't go that route, and hopefully this one mistake doesn't destroy this kid's future.
Well, the thing is, when I first heard it, I wasn't happy. I love this kid. He's everybody.
He's one of our
highly.
captains.
And then, I'm like, this is a serious thing. But I'm not trying to cover for him, but there is a difference between having an illegal gun, knowing in your car, that's serious.
The only reason that he's facing such extensive charges is due to the fact that he had ammunition in a clip.
Okay.
It was a loaded gun.
Now, if he had his license up to date, would that have still been a
I don't think so. I honestly don't think
It all
would
comes.
have
The
been.
point is, it all comes that he.
He had a loaded gun with
You know,
with no license.
And what I've
prove.
always told my kids growing up, you know what? The only way you can get in trouble and end up, criminal, jail, any of those horrible things, is be stupid. Be a bad person and make bad choices, or be lazy, or be, and I'm not calling him lazy, but in this case, he didn't take care of what he needed to do.
Yep.
Don't take care of pay your taxes. Then what happens? You could get in trouble. Don't register your car. You get pulled over. You could get in trouble. All,
Yep.
not criminally minded, but things from not taking care of. And that's apparently, I don't want to comment too much on it because I really don't know.
Yeah,
But I'm just hoping.
Yeah, from
that's
what
it
we've
is.
read, that's the situation.
I don't think, again, I don't know, but I don't think he would have been picked up. And, you get picked up with a gun, you go to jail that night. You had to be bailed out and all that. And that would have been, so I think there's more to the story.
Yeah, that we don't know.
Yeah.
And not that the fact that Jimmy, I'm sure, would not let somebody with those types of charges play if there wasn't a different side to the story as well.
Anyway, let's hope it's all good. Let's pray that the situation clears itself and Mozzie is okay. I don't want his, like you said, he's a good kid. I don't care what you say.
He is a very good kid.
And ruin his life. So, Michigan versus Penn State. Michigan's got a record of 45 versus 14 versus Penn State the last 3 games. September 23rd, 17, Michigan 28-10. That was in Purdue. The game before that, October 6th, 2012, Michigan won 44-13. That was also in West Lafayette. And the last time Michigan lost was on November 7th, the day before my birthday. I don't know if you probably might not remember, in 2009, but they lost 38-36, and I remember that game. Michigan is won 8 out of the last 10 games. So
Against Purdue?
Against Purdue, yes.
You said Penn State.
What's that?
You said Penn State.
Did I really say Penn State?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, well, you said Iowa, so now we're even. We're both made
we're
two dumb
definitely
mistakes. Coach Jeff Brom, he's a good coach. I really think I've been listening to him.
The way he's turned the program around is absolutely it's phenomenal. The way he's turned the entire program around.
I like the guy. I hear his interview. Of course, you're going to respect Michigan. 3 or 4 times he said, we're facing the best team in the country. So, of course, I like him. But you don't want to do anything to your opponent. But he's not just saying that. He's a good.
Well, the interview that I watched last night, he was stating that, going into this game, yes, it's something that the players are looking forward to. But Michigan has more to lose than Purdue does.
Well, absolutely. Yeah,
and
Purdue's coming in expectations.
And so Purdue is coming in fist swinging. So hopefully it's not one of those games where we absolutely have to worry. But I'm hoping by the second quarter Michigan gets the entire game under control like they usually do, and then make the adjustments that they have to at halftime, and then slowly pull away from Purdue.
Yeah, I'm thinking, it's going to be kind of like the Iowa game last year.
It felt
kinda
close.
Yeah, but we felt like we were okay. We weren't worried, but it was a little closer than I like. And then, Michigan takes care of it. Sometimes it works the opposite for teams. They play like with Michigan, Ohio State. Ohio State gave everything, kind of dominated the first half, but I knew Michigan would come back. I think if you're a better team and you're dominating the first half, you'll continue to dominate. So
for sure.
I'm not real worried. Now, the thing about this coach, his last 3 games, he's had 3 victories, is what I'm trying to say,
Against
over
AP
top 5 teams.
fives, yep.
October 20th, 2018. If you remember that, I remember
Ohio
that.
State.
Yes, they whipped their butts, 49-20, and that was number 2 Ohio State.
Yeah.
October 16th, 21, Michigan beat Iowa. Now, Iowa's number 2, but it was kind of a facade. Iowa wasn't number 2 last year at any time in the. They were, but they they weren't.
Yeah.
I knew they would, but still, they went into Iowa and beat them 24-7. So, and then in 2021, after Michigan lost to Michigan State, Purdue went and beat them 40-29, and that's when Michigan State was number 3. So,
It's impressive.
They've done pretty well. Those teams might not have been truly number 2 and number 3, but they were top 10 teams.
Easily.
Anyhow,
By the end of the year.
Yeah. So that's impressive. You got to be careful. So Iowa, Aiden O'Connell's their quarterback. His stats aren't unbelievable. He's got a QBR of 133. But here's what's 22 touchdowns, yay! But like you said, 11 interceptions. The guy, I watched a lot of Purdue the last couple of days to prepare for this show, and he does throw a lot of interceptions.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
He can throw too. I think what they like to do is throw. They're going to run with a passing game. In other words, you're going to see a lot of screen passes, a lot of over the top, a lot of all kinds of different things to get the ball out in open space. And I think that's going to be the key to Purdue winning. It's just slow it down, keep it going. But as far as running back, they've got Devin Maccabee, and he's about 5.1 yards per average. So he can run. They just don't run a lot. That's the fact. He's only got 165 carries. Now, here's the funny thing. Penn State. Why do I got Penn State in my head? Purdue throws the ball about 65% of the time.
Yep.
Michigan, what do they throw? Do you know?
Probably about 40, 45.
Less than that, actually. About 38% of the time. So there's two different teams here. So, but we'll see what happens. But when you go to passing, you got Charlie Jones. He was a transfer from Buffalo, I believe, and then he was in Iowa, if I'm not mistaken, last year, and he's with Purdue this year. He's tied with Marvin Henderson Jr. Harrison Jr. with the most touchdowns. I think they've got 12 touchdowns. However, Charlie Jones is leading in receptions and yards, so he's about to win the Triple Crown. So he's the real deal. People, because Purdue is not at Michigan, is not Ohio State, you don't hear about him a lot.
Yeah.
At least I don't. And he is the real deal. Now, the guy you got to watch out for is Payne Durham. He's their tight end. I've watched a lot of games, and he's a good blocking. He blocks downfield. He's a big guy. He's got good hands, and he could be dangerous. He reminds me, I don't think he's as good as Eric Gall, but he's that type of player. So you watch out for him. And when you get into special teams kicking, this is where Michigan is all over. Their kicker, Finneran, is here. He's 92% on extra points. So that tells you something right there. Made 39, attempted 42. And those are big. You really should be 100%. I don't think there's ever, unless you're in a monsoon.
I don't think Moody's missed one.
Yeah. Moody, did he miss an extra point this year?
I don't think he has.
No, he hasn't. No. Oh, I thought you said he has moved one.
He's gotten field goals blocked, but or he's missed field goals, but I don't think he's gotten an extra point blocked.
And when it comes to field goals, he is 13 for 19, 68%. That's yes. And here's the funny thing: from 20 to 29, he's 4 for 5. From 30 to 39, he's 7 for 7. From 40 to 49, he's 2 for 7, and hasn't made one over 50.
Ouch.
So that if it comes down that close game, that favors Michigan, of course. So we'll see. Moody, I don't have his stats pulled in front of me, but we know he missed a couple of those field goals again, and they were 50 plus versus. Yeah. Penn State.
He had a
I believe he's over 50. Weekend. If I'm mistaken, he's 2 for 5. But even though he's 2 for 5, I still trust him over 50.
Oh,
he's had, and those misses were.
Yep.
And then the 57 against Ohio State that he didn't get. So anyway, we'll see what's going on. Purdue is a solid team. They're not a bad team by any means.
Something that it's a team that Michigan just can't look over because it's a trap game.
Look what happened in Illinois.
It's a trap game.
And now I don't think Blake is playing from what I'm hearing.
I don't think
So,
he
and
is.
I'm okay with that.
We have Edwards.
You know, but
so.
what's his name? Donovan will be
Edwards,
playing, and Edwards, and Mike Morris may be playing, might not be playing.
Hopefully, we need
don't
that
know.
pressure.
But I'm nervous all the time. But when I really sit down, I'm thinking more like 45-10 or something like that. I'm taking the 16.5. So. We'll see if they cover and make me a few bucks here on the side.
Yeah.
Daddy needs a new pair of shoes, as they say. So, but what are you thinking? What any thoughts on Jones or?
I'm honestly not too worried about it. Michigan handled one of the top receivers in the country this past weekend. Sure, he got past him a little bit, but they were also facing one of the best quarterbacks in the country, Heisman frontrunner in the top 3 at least. And they did what they needed to do, and they covered the run, they covered the pass, sort of. But they got the interceptions, they got the turnovers, they got the pressure when it mattered most. So honestly, I'm not too worried.
Looking at Purdue's schedule real quick, and this seemed like forever, but September 1st, that game against Penn State, they played pretty well. That was one of their better games, even though they lost. They lost at 35-31. They went on to whip Indiana State 56-0. Impressive, but it's Indiana State. But
they struggled against Indiana, though.
Yeah, they did.
They were down 7-4 at half, I think.
Well, they lost to Syracuse before that, and let's go the rest of the way there. They beat Maryland by 2, but you know. What did Michigan do? You know, Michigan. Well, they were a little better than that, but they beat Minnesota. That was an impressive game. Wisconsin beat them 35-24. Not so great.
Wisconsin's not very good either.
No, the worst game was against Iowa. 24-3 they lost. How you let Iowa 24 points? So I don't know what to say about that. They did beat Illinois by a touchdown, which they outscored us. I mean, they outbeat us. We won by, of course, 2. They won by 7. And then that Indiana game, like you said, that was close first half, and then they came in the second half and took care of them.
It took them about 10 minutes into the third quarter.
Yeah, and
start moving.
And it was quite. I mean, the idea after that, like you said, our hearts go out and our prayers to Aiden. O'Connell and his brother passing away. I don't know if it was something that was expected or all of a sudden did you hear any news on how he passed. And not that it matters. I mean, it's shocking for a young guy like that. So we hope he plays, and I hope the kid plays a good game. But I don't how your brother died. Can you imagine? I don't know how they even play. I really don't. So. But I give him credit. I hope he does. But he's not going to be on the scene. I'm not trying to take advantage of it. I'm not excied. But
he played the day after.
Yeah,
that is
and he played decent.
Against Indiana.
He really did.
So.
On defense, Sanuski Kane is a safety. He leads in tackles. So that's never good when your safety leads in tackles. You know, what's that telling you? He's getting through that first couple.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your defensive line just can't contain anybody.
Nope. And then I think Jalen Graham, their linebacker, he's fast. He moves laterally well, and he's quick if he can get to the outside. But a lot of the teams have not been able to beat Michigan on the outside speed. So the last thing I want to talk about is sacks. If you look at Michigan sacks, go ahead. I need to pull this up. Make a comment. Talk about something where I pull this up there, Nate.
Oh yeah. The defense, I'm honestly the defensive line when I was watching Indiana play. Their cornerbacks and their defensive line is kind of their cornerbacks play super soft coverage. They're playing like 7 to 10 yards out, which is absolutely insane. Sure, Indiana isn't a very good offensive team, but to play that far out is just absolutely ridiculous, and you're just asking to get burned, and that's what happened on one of the last plays of the game. So
right,
defense I'm not too worried about. It's more of the offense that I'm worried about. So
well, what I wanted to comment is as far as sacks, Michigan last year they had 2 guys with 24 sacks or something like that between them. I'm going to just go down the line and list some of these sacks. So Colson, 2 sacks. Barrett, 2.5 sacks. Sanistrell, 2 sacks. Jenkins, 2. Moore, 0.5. Smith, 1. R.J. Moulton, 1.5. Harrell, 1.5. Graham, 2.5. Mike Morris is our leader at 7 sacks. Oki, 3.5. McGregor, 2.5. Taylor Upshaw, 1.5. I mean, that just blows my mind. When I knew they spread it out, but when you go through all that, I think Purdue has like maybe 4 guys with sacks, 4 or 5 guys, and that's it. And I just named 15 guys that all have at least 1 sack, and some of them multiple sacks. So it's
extremely impressive, actually.
That just, I didn't realize it was spread out. The wealth was spread out that much. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead. We'll wrap this up until next week, and we'll do a Big Ten championship show. Before we go, I want to encourage you guys to once again like, subscribe, and please comment on the show. We really appreciate any new subscribers. We're slowly getting up there. It takes a while. This is, of course, about our 6th or 7th week that we've done it. So we appreciate everybody that does listen and that have subscribed and comments. We're going to continue to take entries. If you go into our on YouTube and comment Go Blue, like and subscribe. We have tickets for the Michigan Penn State game January 4th at the Chrysler Center at 7 p.m. Just put Go Blue in, and whether you do it last week, 2 weeks ago, everyone, we're going to pull out all the Go Blues, and we're going to pull the winner out December 15th. So please do that. Keep listening, because we'll have other giveaways. We'll probably have other basketball giveaways. I got a Charles Woodson jersey that I haven't been able to give away yet because we were picking scores. So maybe we'll do something for the national championship semifinal, and of course the final, which Michigan will be in. What do you think? What are your percentage-wise? What do you see Michigan being in the finals and winning percentage-wise?
70 to 80%
On the going to the finals,
onto the national championship.
and then how about winning? Or is that what you're talking about?
45-55.
Okay, that's about where I'm at. I'm about 80%. They're going to win, about just under 50. I'm just not thinking they're going to be. They're not going to be favorite.
I have to see how they perform in this game in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also have to see how they perform against whoever they might
Right.
face in the semifinal.
A non-Big Ten
Exactly.
team.
So that's where I'm at with it. So
what do you think about I'm exactly with you, by the way. What do you think about Ohio State being 5th?
I don't like it. It's crap. But it's
So you think Alabama should be ahead of them with the 2 loss?
No, I don't.
But that's the point. I could argue for Tennessee, but they're not going into they're not going to pick, with Hooker out.
I mean, they have a good quarterback in Joe Milton.
I don't know, how has he been. I haven't been watching. I hope he's been doing
He
better.
balled out this last
Did
year.
he? I heard he did.
Yeah,
he did
balled out.
okay. Well, good. I hope for, I felt bad. He just wasn't
Good for our team.
He just wasn't a fit. So I'm rooting for him and hoping for him. But I just don't know. That's the problem. You have sometimes
you also
4
have
works out. Sometimes having a 4-team playoff does not work out.
But you also have to look at the top 10. I mean, you have a really good Penn State team, believe it or not.
Are you saying that?
Penn State is a very good team.
You have dogged them all year.
Yeah, Penn State's a very good team. Like, offensively, they are a very good team, and defensively as well. I mean, defensively, they are a better team than offense, in my opinion. They are a strong team defensively. Look what they did to Ohio State throughout 3.5 quarters.
Right. No, it didn't look as close, but they were right there.
On paper, it looked really, really good. So honestly, I honestly am. I feel like some of the teams that are 10 through 7 should be replacing Alabama and Ohio State due to the fact that their strength of schedule might not be the best, but they also have a better winning record. Some of them do, and it's just. Alabama lost 2
should have lost 3. They should have lost that Texas game.
Yeah. Yep.
No doubt about it. Ohio State, I mean, they barely beat North. We can go through all that again, but they had obviously
Struggled
got
against
killed. So I don't know.
Northwestern.
It's just a tough thing. I just don't. If Ohio State gets in the play, can you? Okay, think about this. How unfair it is to Michigan. We got them. Instead of them sitting on this for a whole year, they get another chance. Can you
Yep.
imagine how happy I'd be if I were Michigan, we lost, and we got a second chance? We beat them. I'm living with a victory.
And something that so if USC does end up losing to Utah, which they lost in the beginning of
Right.
the year, okay,
They're only 2-point favorites.
Ohio is sitting right on the outside looking in, and that's something that scares me. But do you know how rare it is for a team to beat one team twice in the same year?
Well, exactly.
It
Look at
is
Alabama,
extremely-
Georgia last year.
It is extremely rare. Like really rare for one team to beat the same team twice in one year.
When they're both that
Exactly,
good, yes.
Exactly. And the way Caleb Williams has been balling since then, they haven't had a loss since then. And
No, he's been playing like lights out.
Exactly.
The last couple games,
nobody can touch the
no,
kid.
he is
And
clear
so
winner.
I honestly don't. If TCU loses, I feel like Alabama should slide over.
TCU, they're going to stay in if it. That's my prediction.
I think so.
Yeah. I'm hoping so.
USC is the number one spot
Yeah,
that's up for
that's for
grabs
sure, we
right
know.
now. The top 3 aren't going anywhere, win or lose.
And if Ohio State sneaks in, that means Georgia versus Alabama.
No, it'll be
Georgia versus Ohio State,
which is
Excuse me.
something that I would love to see.
I
Ohio would get destroyed.
So I was just going to say, so if they win, I'm not going to be one of those guys. Oh, I want to beat Ohio State again. No,
Honestly,
if we beat them, let me just say this: if they were to, here's the flip coin. If they were to play them and beat them again, Ohio State's. I mean, they're put them out of their misery.
Yeah.
But really, that's going to be a
So
tough.
I think if Georgia wins, Michigan wins, the top 2 stay the same as they are,
Yeah.
due to the fact that, and honestly, it all depends on USC. Like if USC loses and Georgia wins, Georgia's staying at 1.
Absolutely.
Michigan wins, they're staying
Staying
at
at
2.
2.
TCU wins, they stay at 3. USC loses, Ohio State slides into that 4th spot. Georgia versus Ohio State. TCU versus Michigan, which is something that I would definitely take.
Yeah, and then
TCU is not, like, on paper, in their record, looks good, but they have had some close calls against some terrible teams.
Who's TCU? You mean?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah.
TCU has had some
the
very
Illinois
close
game we were
calls.
watching. They ran no timeouts. I mean, so.
So yeah, I would not mind watching a Ohio State Georgia game, but at the same time, I do not think the way they lost at home against a rival in a big game, to lose by 22 on your own home turf, you do not deserve that 4th spot.
I just don't want to see Ohio State fans have a second chance. They don't deserve that kind of joy.
But if Alabama beats Georgia this weekend,
then Alabama, you think
Alabama slides to that 4th
fourth spot. Yep.
I think so.
I think so.
and-
It'd be tough 2 losses, but how could you keep them out if they beat Georgia and they win that SEC?
If USC loses Georgia, or if Alabama beats Georgia, I mean, ball game is switched, man. I mean,
There's
it
some,
really
even
is.
though there's only really one spot open.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scenarios, so
There are.
I would like to see USC in. I just would. I think
I would too.
I
It'll be
think they're
good
most
for-
deserving. It'd be fun.
It'd be nice to see a Pac-12 team instead of a Big Ten team or
Or
an
a
SEC
SEC
team
team,
or
yeah.
an ACC team.
So it's going to be
in there.
Michigan and Georgia in the finals. That's my prediction.
Yep.
This week, as we say goodbye, I'm taking Michigan 45-10. I think you picked last week, but go ahead. You got a second chance to change that score if you want. What are you taking
For Saturday?
for Saturday? Yep.
I got 48-14.
48-14. Okay. What you don't know is all the scores I've been keeping. We're going to see who's been at the end of the season. We'll see who was closest to being right. So you got me last week with Ohio State. You picked a big victory, and I picked a victory to my credit, but not a big victory. So, okay, well that's it. We will continue. We'll have a post game show probably. Monday, I'm guessing, and then we'll start getting into probably a few basketball episodes, and then some previews for the big. I guess it'll probably be at the Fiesta Bowl. I'm guessing it's too bad can't be at Georgia. I would probably go, but I can get some cheap flights down to Georgia, but not the Fiesta Bowl. That'll be a little bit too much, but we'll see what happens. It's fun, isn't it? Fun when when you're done. We got 3 more games. I mean, everybody's done, and we're playing football. I love it. I love it, and we'll see how the Lions do this week. What you think, Lions? Real quick. Jacksonville, you're taking the Lions?
Certified dub, yeah.
Okay, yep. That must win. If you want to have any prayer to playoffs, this is a must win. And
these next 4 weeks.
Trevor Lawrence, he looked good last week. He moved the team, but I'm
got lucky on that last.
Yeah, he did. So I'm taking the Lions, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So hey, appreciate it. Everybody have a great holiday season, a great Christmas season, and we love you guys. And please like and subscribe and help us grow this channel. It means a lot to us.
On YouTube.
On YouTube. Well, they can subscribe on We're also on what are we on? We're on Apple
Podcasts, Spotify. We're on everything.
So we're on everything. But why do we always say YouTube then?
Because that's the most watched.
Okay. I'm just wondering because, I keep correcting myself. Then I was thinking, aren't we on?
That's the only thing we can comment on.
Okay. Yes. So if you want to comment on that makes sense. That's why you got to go to YouTube and comment. Go Blue. Get those free tickets, and I will send them to you. We'll announce it December 15th. Go Blue. Love you guys.
Blue.
See you later. Bye.